Reese, who seems like a little soft, and we got Bob Stuckey, who seems sketchy still. And other than that, we've got Herschel, Glenn, Daryl. They're all tough.
All tough.
Rick is messed up.
He's coming back.
He's coming back, but he's going through his PTSD, like you said. Glenn's very top notch.
Carl, for a kid,
Carl's
he's
great.
tough
Yes.
as nails, man.
So there's a little more of a variance.
Maybe
there, I guess.
They've got to be absolutely.
I mean, do you want them all just to be like Navy SEALs and be, totally strong? And
no, but at this point, they've got to. At this point in the zombie apocalypse, you have to have figured out some way of coping. And being tough is one of the ways of coping. Probably the only way of coping.
Okay, so you're saying you like that the women are tough, but you don't want them to not have flaws.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, totally. I agree with that. Totally.
I got to say, the whole thing with Lori and Andrea in season 2 really annoyed me.
Yeah. I remember that.
Blah, blah, blah. Right? You sit around here and cook more. What?
Right. Well, somebody has to cook.
Yes.
And somebody has to farm. And now, I mean, I'm sort of thinking now that Rick, has he just given up on the whole farming thing? I mean, I thought it was pretty ridiculous that we didn't see Herschel helping with any of the farming because he's a farmer. Right. And I'm sure the writers probably thought that was too on the nose, but he's a farmer, you know?
He's a farmer. And I'm sure he does farm, but he's also an old guy with a chopped off
with
leg.
A wooden leg or whatever.
Yeah, so it might not be that easy for him. And maybe he has the afternoon shift and Rick's got the morning one.
I worry about the Fonzie syndrome with this show. I don't want everyone to be Mr. Cool on the show. I want a variety of types, and so, but that has to be balanced with, yes, they're in the zombie apocalypse, so they're all going to be learning how to be tough.
Right.
So I don't know. I just want a good balance on that. And I think they're doing well. Like I say, I think Carol actually is a tad on the reactive side with this whole thing.
Again, everybody's suffering from PTSD, in my opinion.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I wasn't totally finished with my number one, by the way.
I'm sorry.
I just thought that the whole thing with the zombies pushing the fence down was a great effect, and it was very thrilling, or almost pushing it down. And I thought they kind of cheated because it looked like it was just about to go, and they cut to commercial, and then when they came back, it was like almost about to go, but not quite. Enough time for Rick to go out and get the truck. And
right.
But I that is sort of a thing that genre films do sometimes.
Yes.
In fact, I think the woman that captured the writer in Misery complained about that. Do you remember that movie, Misery?
Yeah, it's Kathy Bates.
Yeah, she said, it's not fair because at the end of the cliffhanger, they were going to fall off the cliff. And then the next scene, they made it. And, the writers are cheating us. And stuff like that.
I love Stephen King.
Yeah, totally. But anyway, that's all I want to say about that. But I have other notes, of course. So I wondered if any of the ex-Woodburyans are missing the governor about now, considering a good chunk of their group just got wiped out at the prison. And I don't know if anything like that ever happened in Woodbury. I didn't notice it last week, but Melissa McBride's in the opening credits now for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Yep. They kind of brought up the theme. This episode had the theme of whether they can enjoy their lives or not. It starts with kind of this loving, tender moment between Tyrese and Karen, and that ends crappily. But then we have Glenn taking a picture of Maggie, and that's a nice moment. So it makes me wonder, will they have to, already there's like certain people that are quarantined and can't touch the other people. And so Glenn can't get close to Maggie, and Rick can't get close to Carl or Judith. So already there's discord there. And then just the whole thing with Rick having to face facts that he can't just be a peaceful farmer. He has to weaponize.
Yeah. So sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So sad. Okay.
Moving on.
Obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Are they slow moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is a Walking Dead Cast news update.
All right. It's time for the news. Just a few things this week. First of all, this is from EW.com regarding the ratings. Quote, The Walking Dead had 13.9 million viewers and a 7.1 rating in the adult demo, down 14% from last Sunday's record setter. That's a typical second week slip percentage, and The Walking Dead also faced a massive telecast of Sunday Night Football, the NFL's biggest overnight October deliver since 1998, so I suspect DVR will recover a lot of that ground. So they're still really happy with it, but it went down quite a bit from last time.
Go Andrew Luck.
Over the next few days, they'll put out like DVR ratings. They pay a lot more attention to that stuff now.
Right.
Who?
Andrew Luck. Sunday Night Football.
Oh, he's a football player?
Mm-hmm. And he used to play for Stanford. Go Cardinal.
Next, there's really good 20-minute interviews with Robert Kirkman, Stephen Yeun, and Michael Rooker done by Paul F. Tompkins on his Speakeasy show. I guess it's a podcast, and Jason Taylor posted them to our site, walkingdeadcast.com, if you want to see them. I just listened to a little bit of the Kirkman one, and it was really good. It's just very in-depth about how he made The Walking Dead happen and what his experience has been like with it over the years and everything, what it's like in the writer's room and stuff like that. It's good. This is from Huffington Post. So Irony Singleton, who played T-Dog, will portray 18 characters in Blindsided by The Walking Dead, which tells the story of how he grew up. This is like a one-man show that he's doing.
Interesting.
A stage show of how he grew up in the Perry Homes housing project during Atlanta's crack cocaine epidemic before he found work as an actor. A key scene of The Walking Dead was filmed on a downtown Atlanta rooftop just a few miles from the project, where violence was ever present during Singleton's childhood and teenage years. That's the famous rooftop scene where Merle lost his hand, I assume. Blindsided by The Walking Dead is a work of drama, comedy, dance, spoken word, and rap. Its characters include a thug, a crack addict, Richard III from Shakespeare, God, and Singleton's deceased mother. And he says about it, I think it could inspire people and save lives. And this was taken from an article actually about Walker Stalker Con, because it's noting that he'll take part in a panel discussion during the convention, and you and I will be moderating that panel.
Oh, we're going to ask him about this one-man show.
Mm-hmm. And so that should be fun. But speaking of Walker Stalker Con, it's been big in the news over the last couple of days.
Yes, it has.
MSNBC, Huffington Post, San Francisco Chronicle, you said, right? Fox News, and more. And it's 11 short days away. And I think you should come. You.
I will.
Not you.
Fine. All right, I won't be there.
Go.
God.
No, you have to go and save me.
And you, meaning all you listeners, have to come too and save us. We're counting on drinking with you.
And we need you to come and ask questions when we run out of questions.
We're going to crowdsource this interview.
Yes. Seriously.
Yes.
Yeah, come and ask. Think of questions for Irony Singleton.
And please come up and just say hi to us. If you see us walking around, just come up and say hi, because it'd be so cool to meet some listeners.
Definitely. All right, that's all for the news this week. We'll be right back. Back, and it's time for listener moans, groans, and grunts. Okay, you want to start?
Brains. I do. This one comes from Cherokee, who writes, Hey guys, longtime listener, first time emailer. Just finished listening to 30 Days Without an Accident podcast and loved it. Glad to be back with you guys. I'm actually driving back. Technically, I'm a passenger, not emailing plus driving. Good. From Comic-Con in Nashville, and will hopefully be home in time to live chat tonight. Just wanted to say I love this new segment with Gracie and Mr. Blog. Nicely done, and I'm excited for the next one. I enjoyed talking with fellow comic readers about the issue, so it was fun. So this was fun for me. Just wanted to pop in and say I enjoyed it. Don't get bit, Cherokee, who is in the chat room as Norman Reedus.
No, Nomine Reedus. Thanks, Cherokee. Yeah, I've seen you on chat and Twitter, and I think you even submitted an audio thing when we were giving our respects to Glenn Mazzara a while back. He didn't die, but he left the show. But let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you wrote that because a couple of people have been saying that they really like that new segment, and I'm glad to hear it because I liked it too. And the comic will be bi-weekly for a while here. The next issue isn't out for a month, but then after that, it'll be bi-weekly for like 11 issues. So we'll have a bunch of those segments coming up for you guys.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, they're doing this special storyline and 12-issue storyline, and so they're going bi-weekly, and they're having usually Charlie Adlard pencils and inks the comic.
Yeah, right.
Somebody else will be inking it so that he can keep up.
How do they all have time to do this all? They make us look like slackers. Just saying.
I know. I mean, especially, all of them. But Kirkman, he's doing so many things.
He's an overachiever.
He's going to be writing, directing, and starring in the spinoff. So that's crazy.
The Walking Dead, Hawaii.
The Walking Dead, Kirkman. This next one's from Stuart. I'm going to weigh in on the mystery of who turned Karen and the other dude into Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen. This is the email I was thinking of.
That's perfect.
That's a reference.
That's funny.
He's saying, I'm guessing Lizzie. Here's why. Most of the scenes with Lizzie seem to be trying to establish that she's a bit of a sociopath. She's not weak. She's messed up, her sister said. She was angry that Nick had been, quote, killed. That's not what did it for me. It's coming up, though. She needed to prove that she could act decisively after Carol scolded her for not being able to kill her dad. And by the way, she also passed a knife to her in that scene.
Yeah.
You could tell by the blood on the pillow that Karen was probably stabbed in the head, just like Carol taught Lizzie to do.
Oh.
The victims were killed in separate rooms, less chance of the second to die hearing the first one being killed. And the bodies were dragged outside, which could have been done by Lizzie. Plus, there was a lot of blood, which seems to indicate they were drug out slowly with some difficulty. All these things seem to be pointing at Lizzie. It would certainly create some tense drama and moral crisis if Carol realized she had been teaching a budding sociopath how to kill and just handed her the murder weapon. Of course, this could just be a red herring. My backup guess, if it's not Lizzie, would be Judith. Zombie Judith.
She can barely hold an empty Solo cup.
It's all for show.
Wow, that's good though. Yeah, that's really good.
Maybe. I still think it's not her, but it'd be interesting if it was.
I like it. This next one comes from Drea, who writes, regarding the council, they sure didn't spend too much time figuring out the new epidemic. The group is strong, solid, smart, and ready to leap into action at a moment's notice. All these people are the people I would want to be left to survive with. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Losses to the core group are going to be unbearable from now on. Also, this is such a brilliant way to contrast the prison group from the Woodbury folks. Given a choice, there is no question which way is better in every way.
Which group is better?
Which group is better? Sorry, which group? Which is better in every way. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, totally. I mean, what hit me about that email the most is that losses to the core group are going to be unbearable from now on.
For sure.
Yeah. We should rank who we wouldn't mind losing in order.
Oh, no, we can't possibly rank that. Nobody else. How about nobody else dies? I don't know. We proposed that to Greg Nicotero, and
I did not propose that.
I proposed that to Greg Nicotero. And I said, how about just don't kill anyone else off, huh? And he's like, no.
And change the name of the show to Sunshine and Spice in the ZA. Okay, this next one is from Alex. I love that this episode is moving the series in a mystery direction. I was talking to my coworker today, and he was thinking that the feeding of the rats and the murder of Karen, and the other guy were related. I had not considered this before he said that. When I saw how Lizzie reacted to Nick dying, I thought she might be behind the rats. When I saw the bodies, I thought it had to be a member of the council. My first guess, if it is a council member, would be Sasha. I say this because she would have done it to protect her brother, and I can see just how bad that could vault Tyrese forward as a character. But then again, it's probably Bob. # blame it on Bob. But I'm a little confused because you start out saying that the feeding of the zombies and the murder of Karen are related, but then you're saying that they're not related. So how are they related?
This is from Daniel, who writes, now hiring night watch person for West Georgia Correctional Facility. Recent events have created a hiring opportunity here at WGCF for a night watch person. The hours are dusk till dawn. The job duties are as follows: patrolling the perimeter of our facility, promptly recording any walker buildups along the fence line during the night to the tower personnel at the end of your shift in the morning, stopping anyone from feeding the walkers, patrolling the interior of the prison for walkers, and pointing out any other obvious gaps in our defenses that somehow went unnoticed during the prior 18 months of the zombie apocalypse. Benefits include shelter, you get your own private cell, meals, we just had a killer barbecue, showers with nice clean water. If interested, please apply in person at the West Georgia Correctional Facility during daylight hours. There are only 3 questions during the job interview.
Yeah, they should.
Freaking brilliant.
They should have somebody patrolling, obviously. This is another one of those cases where the sensible thing to do would severely cut down on the drama, so they don't do it. This next one's from Rayanne. The head of Nick the Zombie fan club is clearly emotionally disturbed. I was surprised when Carol flat out told her that she was weak, but completely flabbergasted when, after promising to watch over the girls, then being explicitly told that one of them is all messed up, Carol's all, here, have a knife. The whole situation is way too close to the Andrea, Maggie, Beth ordeal of season 2, except this kid appears to be less of a danger to herself than to others. She should not have a knife. Yeah, I'd say it's not totally that clear yet, but I really hope what you're saying is right, because it would be very interesting to have a total psychopath child on the show right now.
Besides Carl. Just kidding. Carl's not a psychopath. He came back. Rayanne, those are excellent, excellent points. This next one comes from Jeff, who writes, another great episode. I give it 5 slaughtered pigs. Just wondering if you guys are noticing this season is starting to bring back elements from previous seasons that seemed abandoned by the writers. For example, in season 1, Rick had a hand tremor. I don't recall this coming up much, if at all, in season 2 or 3, but now it seems to be back, and whenever Rick is stressed. Perhaps it was because times were quieter on the farm. I went back and looked, and Rick's hand didn't shake after killing Shane. In fact, his hand was rather steady as it plunged the knife into Shane. Wow. Did you sense a hand tremor?
No, I don't recall ever seeing that. So it might be
Jeff.
something that, we just didn't notice. But if it was something that was going on in the first season and then it just came back, that's kind of curious. It's interesting.
Yep.
All right, this next one is from Jesus. He says, I liked how the episode started with that feeling of danger and vulnerability. My favorite moments were between Rick and Carl. The moment at the farm when Carl shows that he respects and trusts his father, tells him the truths. The moment at the farm where Carl shows that he respects and trusts his father, tells him the truth about the knives, and when Rick gives Carl his gun and shows his respect and trust. I love those 2 moments because it showed how strong their relationship has become. Yes,
we like
I totally
that too.
Agree with that.
Mm-hmm. This next one comes from Jesse, who writes, we've been contemplating about various other character possibilities dying, but remembering Harry Potter Patrick shaking Daryl's hand made me think, what if Daryl's the next one to die? No one expects that at all. I think everyone assumes that Rick surviving is a given and possibly Daryl surviving is a given, but his handshake makes me think, especially since Daryl licked his fingers before shaking Potter's hand.
I would bet the farm on that Daryl won't die for a long time to come, and I don't want him to either. But if he did, I wouldn't be against it because it would be so bold, such a bold move for the show to make.
Why don't we just kill everybody off? That's really, really bold.
Well, that's one of the scary things about this outbreak is it. It won't, but it could just wipe them all out within a couple days. All dead.
No problem.
But I will reiterate, since you don't seem to be on board with me on this, that I think one thing that makes The Walking Dead great is that you never know who's going to live or die, and there's danger. And if you take that danger away, then the show will very much suffer for it.
I get very attached to characters.
Which makes it even more dramatic to think that one of them could die.
I told you I was going to jump off Game of Thrones after the Red Wedding.
And did you?
No,
No.
but I did.
Exactly my point.
For about 12 hours, I did. And then I went right back
And
to
then
it.
you're voraciously going to be watching it next season, no matter what they do.
True.
Unless they stop killing people off,
But
then
I
you'll
did
get
not
bored.
like it. I was very upset and I cried. It was not good at all. Okay. What? You're
I
shaking
just
your
think
head.
it's ridiculous. I mean,
What?
okay, so I don't know. I can see emotionally that you'd feel that way, and so do I. But I can take a step back and see that it's good for the show to do that, and it's bad for but you can't. So,
I cannot.
Okay, I guess we're in agreement on that. Next.
I think it's your turn, man.
Oh, it's my turn. Sorry. Dustin says, I thought I'd drop you a line to let you know where the 3 questions come from. When Rick was going nuts and getting the phone calls back in season 3, one of the voices asked Rick these same 3 questions, and it was Jim who did it. I think it makes a lot of sense he would use these same questions in his questioning of others, which is sort of interesting, I guess.
Do you remember how creepy the voice was? It was really creepy. Yeah.
I mean, so in that episode, they said, how many people did you kill? And I think he says how many. I forget how many it was by that point, 2 or 3. And why. They asked him why. I don't know if they asked him how many walkers. Maybe they did. But that was all about Rick feeling guilty about having killed people.
Yep.
So now for him to take those questions and ask them of other people, because what they were saying at that point was they were asking Rick that to see if they would allow them into their community. But then you find out really it's just his own imagination. Well, so do they make sense as far as trying to figure out if you're going to let people into your community? Yeah, maybe they do. It's interesting.
It is interesting. And maybe he's sort of sublimated all of that. And maybe he's forgotten what the questions were entirely.
He may have even, forgotten everything that happened that day. It's
pretty
It could have been
messed
a
up.
haze.
Yeah. This next one comes from Kirian, who writes, Jason, you've mentioned several times on your podcast that you like spooky movies, particularly when your own imagination can scare you. Check out The Haunting, the original 1963 version. I dare you to watch this alone in a darkened room and not have the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. I've seen it many times over the years, and it still gives me a scary buzz. Have you seen it?
No, I don't even know if I've heard of it.
The Haunting.
Sounds good.
I think I think the reason why he says the original 1963 version is because they redid it and not that long ago.
There's one called The Conjuring that I want to see.
Yes,
it's supposed to be good.
Right,
yeah, I don't think it's at the theater anymore, but if it is, maybe we should go see it.
We should go see it. Oh my God.
I'll look it up.
There's none of hours in the day. P.S.
I
I could
know.
listen to Karen's voice. Oh, until the apocalypse comes. Maybe he means the character Karen.
No.
Baby, I could listen to your voice too, Karen. That's right.
never heard his voice.
Your voice is in my head.
Or her voice.
He's got a Scottish accent.
sounds like this.
No, he doesn't. He's got a little Scottish brogue going, don't you, Karen?
It says, Jason, you've mentioned several times on your podcast. And Karen's like, yes. Okay. So we get into the reactions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I'll go first. David says, FYI, in case you're curious, the comic Michonne gave Carl this episode is another Kirkman title, Invincible number 56.
Oh, that's nice. Brittany says, this episode really felt like an actual horror movie, and I love that. I just kept wondering how no one noticed once day broke that Zombie Patrick was having Thanksgiving dinner. It's not like the walkers are quiet when they eat. No, they are not.
Yeah, totally. They'll have their earplugs in. Shannon says, and why is Karen wearing a bracelet that says rock, paper, scissors? I thought it was a medic alert band at first, but I guess not, unless she's allergic to rock, paper, and scissors.
Brilliant.
I like that. The only reason why she's wearing that is because they showed it clearly early on, and you're like, what's that? And then later it was basically so when you saw her charred body, you'd have it hammered home. Even though Tyrese is crying with flowers in his hand, we still needed that extra visual to lock in our minds that was her.
Right, to bang it into our hands with rocks and
papers and scissors.
Jason writes a haiku, which goes, get your flu shot, stay away from me, sicko. Hold up the fences. Nicely done.
Jason always writes good ones. Michael says, this was one of my all-time favorite Walking Dead episodes. It literally consisted of everything I love about this show contained in one episode.
Gabrielle writes, I feel like Tyrese's sister did the burning. In the promo, she looked guilty.
I see, that makes me think maybe not if they tried to make it obvious in the promo. Charlie said Rick feeding the walkers potentially infected pigs was a huge mistake. The pig's infection will cause the walker virus to mutate. Charlie is obsessed with this whole mutation thing, which makes me wonder, are you, I know you're into publicity and social media, but are you like on the side a scientist who studies
at the CDC?
Yeah.
Tom writes, all I have to say is no, not the bacon.
Cindy says this episode was rough.
Pialani says Judas red solo cup scene plus zombies like
zombie-like coos.
Zombie-like coos reminded me of a mashup of the movie Pitch Perfect and Nico talking to Jason last year. Aww.
Charlie says, during this episode, you had reason to think that literally everybody except for Daryl has a possibility to get the virus. I guess not Daryl, just because he knows they would never get rid of Daryl.
Right. Julie writes, I am Atlanta, Georgia. It comes on here at 9 p.m. What?
Thanks, Julie.
Yeah, thanks, Julie.
See, sometimes when I go on there and I say, okay, here's what... I just on Facebook I say, tell me what you thought, on this, and people feel compelled to come on and say it hasn't started yet, and I'm like, well, wait until it's over and then tell me. I have to put it in there.
Right.
Sometimes I go, hey, once the episode's over, come back here and tell me what you thought, just so people won't do that.
Oh, Julie, I love it. I thought it was a very Zen-like thought. I love it. Thank you, Julie.
Thanks, Julie. Okay, James says, looks like we're finally going to see Tyrese become a badass. Stay out of his way.
Yikes. Aaron writes, 4.286945 brains.
Shannon says, I think it's more intense because there are way more kids involved. Makes me worry that much more.
I know.
Yeah,
makes me worry too. Lindsay writes, I love Carol's transition as a character, first as a battered wife, then as a grieving mother, and now as a badass who realizes what it takes to live in this world.
Totally. About the kids, I just thought, we used to say, there's no kids in this show except for Carl, and now there's a whole bunch. So that is interesting. Jose says, I think Carol is the unofficial caretaker of those two little girls. As the unofficial caretaker of those two little girls, is telling them what she wishes she could have told Sophia. And it's also a callback to what the governor told Milton about if he were a harder person before, that he'd still have Penny.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Nick writes, Carol's a bitch. Let the girls grate for 5 minutes before calling them weak.
Gracie Lou responds, Carol's most definitely not a bitch. Was that harsh? You bet, but they live in a harsh world. Carol cares enough for Lizzie to toughen her up so that she'll have a better chance at surviving than Sophia did.
Yep.
And I agree with that, except I think, like I said, she's going a little far and being a little reactive, and I think that's going to play into future plot lines, but we'll see.
And it's not like she can tell the parents right now.
Yeah.
I mean, she could tell some of the parents, but there's some parents, especially of Lizzie's parents, who are dead. Nicole writes, I thought she was a bit harsh too.
Jeff says, God damn it, I was pretty sure Karen was going to be off in the intro, then she survived, then she got sick, and ultimately she was just too hot for TV.
Cybelle writes, overall really enjoyed this episode. Wasn't too keen on the scene with the two girls. Some of it was overdramatic for me.
I agree. Elizabeth says, I think they're going to walk up to baby Judith Bassinet or wherever she sleeps and she'll have turned.
No baby zombies.
You think baby Judith is going to last?
Yes.
Forever and ever, you hope?
Forever. Megan writes, this episode brought to you by Tamiflu.
What is that? Something that prevents
is
flu?
is a flu medicine.
Okay, we have one call. People left voice messages and stuff, but I just ran out of time today. So try again next week. But here's the one call that I had time to prep.
Hey guys, this is Keith from Long Island. But you might find this interesting. EW, Entertainment Weekly, had recently interviewed Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead, and he was talking about one of our favorite characters from the show. And, all right, hold on, here it is. Here's the short playback.
We're talking with Andrew Lincoln, star of The Walking Dead, and let's talk a little Reedus for a second. You want to? You want to talk about Reedus? Your boy Reedus?
Anytime you want to talk about Reedus.
Well, explain it to me. So Reedus is you're not on any of the social media stuff, but you know that your boy Norman, he's all over it, right? Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that I'd say about, 87% of the photos he puts up of himself are him flipping people off. How did he manage to make this his calling card, his trademark, flipping people off? And I've seen you sometimes get in the act. You'll flip off.
Oh,
you feel sort of inferior flipping off next to him because he's the expert?
Yeah, he is the expert. He is the original flipper.
Yeah.
He does it, just so you know, whenever we stay at the Four Seasons Hotel when we're in L.A., I go to bed, and he always finds out what room I'm in. and then he'll rack up the most astronomical bill, sign with my name, write the number of the room I'm in, and then take a picture flipping me off and send it to me when I'm flying somewhere else in the morning. That's become a regular thing of his. So yeah, he is the original. In fact, there was one moment, and I won't give anything away, but he got really upset because he was asked to do something along those lines, and he went, "That's my thing, you know. They're stealing my flip, you know." Yeah, he's in a...
All right, guys, that's it. I just can't help laughing every time I hear that. That guy he's truly, I think his personality must be in real life just like he was on the show. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and you can play it for the listeners.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Keith.
I like it that obviously Andrew Lincoln is thrilled by that. I
he
guess.
really is. I'm like, that
Guess
jerk.
what he did?
He flipped me off. And he sent me the bill. It's so cute. I'm not at all surprised to hear that. Norman Reedus lit the stink bomb at the Image Expo.
Yeah.
2 years ago or whatever
Crazy
it was.
Guy, Joker.
Netball.
All right, let's move along to comic talk. I'm going to turn it over to Jaden, but just so you know, Jaden's going to be comparing this episode to the events of the comic. So if you don't want to hear anything about the comic or potential spoilers for the show, you should skip ahead. Take it away, Jaden.
Hey there, Deadcast listeners. This is Jaden back for another episode of Comic Talk. First off, we got Gwen and Maggie up in the Watchtower. They've had so many good times up there in the comic. So it's nice to see them really giving them their home up there as well. Next, we got Tyrese with his hammer. That is like seeing Thor with a hammer. That's just his thing, and it's so nice to see them pay homage to that. Now, the comic had no Superflu storyline. It's a very cool addition, and as a biologist, it's something I always wondered about, and the comic never touched on. Now, the really big thing. We got the two girls, Lizzie and Mika, and they're appearing to be kind of a reimagining of the twins in the comic. Now, they're adopted by another person in the group when their last parent dies. It was Dale and Andrea adopting the twins in the comic, and Carol in the TV show. And one of them's kind of completely out of touch with reality. I'm fairly convinced she's probably the one feeding the zombies at the beginning, since she's naming them all. Now, in the comic, Billy endangers the whole group by killing and dissecting his brother to watch him come back to life. I think the line when he got caught was, "It's okay, he'll come back. I didn't damage the brain." And everyone freaks out going, "Oh my god, this kid's insane. What the fuck are we gonna do?" And they kind of lock him up in the back of a truck and don't know what to do. And in the middle of the night, Carl goes, "Well, I know what the fuck to do." And he sneaks in and kills Billy. So Carl took care of things. The only one that really knows what happened is Rick, because he fesses up to him. So in the TV show, it's probably a good thought that Carl's probably going to have to deal with it. So we may have a dead Lizzie soon with Carl with the smoking gun, so to speak. Now, lastly, I got a quick prediction. We've got the two burnt bodies of the sick people sitting outside, and we're wondering who the hell could have done that. Here's my general rule of thumb, being an avid reader of the comic series. When things like this happen in the comic, it's usually Carl that did them. I'm not so sure here, but I'm going to keep my eye on him. So until next week, guys, not only don't get bit, but apparently avoid the people over there with the coughing and the bloody eyes and the pigs, and just stay away from everybody. Fuck that shit.
All right, thanks a lot, Jade. Now it's time for next week on The Walking Dead.
Next week on The Walking Dead, episode 3, it is called Isolation. It is written by somebody you may have heard of named Robert Kirkman. And he's probably using some source material, just thinking. It's directed by a guy named Dan Sackheim, who also directed When the Dead Came Knocking in 2012. And he's directed lots of other things, including House and Lie to Me. He's been a producer and should be good. And the little blurb on it that doesn't really tell us much, so don't worry, it's not very spoilery. Mm-hmm. It says, as one group leaves the prison in search of supplies at a local college, those who stay must deal with recent losses while preserving what remains.
That seems like it's been the plot of several episodes.
I know. Well, that's why I say it's not very spoilery. They're going to have to go outside the prison to get some supplies, but I mean, they have to do that quite a bit,
and they always have a different spin on it and stuff like that.
Exactly. They don't want to give away too much, and who can blame them? I
was trying to think, because I think Robert Kirkman said he was going to write an episode that was almost exactly like the comic. I don't know if that's it, because I think he's going to be doing another one later on this season, but we'll see.
Isolation doesn't sound very fun, but I think it will be.
With episode 1 and 2, I'm stoked for the rest of the season.
Me too.
Right? We'll see.
I like the direction it's going.
Yeah, I hope it keeps up like this. If it does, I'll be really happy.
Yeah, do you hear that, Scott M. Gimple?
So we close it out?
Let's do.
All right, that's our show, episode 116. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
I want to give a shout out to record label / promotional company Pitchfork Records, started by a listener, Dave Esposito, who's helped us out with a few things here and there. He says, quote, bands can send us their music, and if we like it, we promote them for free. We have 7 bands on the label so far, and their Twitter is at Pitchfork Record with no S, or you can follow Dave at Dave Esposito. Boom.
Oh, is that Boom Guy?
Can't say.
All right.
If you'd like to leave us a message, and I promise I'll play more of them next week, you can call us at 650-485-DEAD. That's 650-485-3323.
You can email us at brains@walkingdeadcast.com.
You can go to our website with our new design at walkingdeadcast.com, and please don't forget to click through our Amazon link on there, or just go to walkingdeadcast.com/Amazon whenever you do all your Christmas shopping at Amazon.com.
We can't tell who got what, so if you're worried about getting presents for us,
you can get thumb screws, whatever you want, edible undies,
and send them to us.
No, that was 2 separate thoughts.
Oh. We just want beer and cookies, please. Beer and cookies. We're also on Twitter at Jason and Karen, on Tumblr at walkingdeadcast.tumblr.com, and on Facebook at facebook.com/deadcast.
And as an aside, I'm happy to say that S.H.I.E.L.D. was much better last week.
It was.
We're hoping it will continue in that vein. And so if you're interested in hearing even more of us, you can listen to our S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. Just go on iTunes and search on TV Talk S.H.I.E.L.D. You'll see it there. And please, I haven't done this in a while, but I'm going to ask you guys, those of you who have not gone on to iTunes and given us a rating or review, if you like what we're doing, please go on there. It's really easy. Just sign in, go to our podcast and click some stars and write a little review if you want, or just do a rating. It's free, and it's a great way to support us and help us stay up in the charts so people can find us. We really appreciate that.
And we can get interviews.
And we can get, it helps us get interviews, which we're hoping to do more this season. We may have a special guest this week. We may not.